Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? Welcome back to the One Man Low Council. Welcome to episode 161 of the Welcome to Asgard podcast. And we are going to be starting off tonight talking about a little project that I've been mentioning on social media today. I've seen a little confusion about it in the chat, so I figured I'd start off the stream before jumping into the chat, before catching up with everyone, making sure everyone's okay, just to kind of give you a heads up and kind of just explain my thought process with this. Now, I've been mentioning this before, and I've been really trying to think this thing through. I've been playing around with a lot of things as well, trying to figure out how I could best do it, what the purpose of this would be, and how we could best go about doing it with the limited resources that I currently have and what I hope to have in the future. And so one of those things, of course, is what I'm calling a film preservation project. Now, it's not nearly as sexy or as amazing as Project 4K77 or Project 4K80, where they are saving 35mm prints of original Star Wars movies and scanning them and preserving them, though, believe me, I would love for that to be the case here, and maybe one day I can be that person. Maybe one day I could be making enough to be able to go out and actually buy 35mm prints of original films, specifically those films that are in danger. But at this point, obviously, financially, that is just not in the cards. And also, I wouldn't know where to start with that. And so I was thinking to myself, okay, well, what do I know how to do? What are some things that I can do right now? And as I said, some of this stuff might be reiterated from things you've heard previously. I gave a preview of this on a earlier random stream on the Twitch channel that I did earlier today. And basically, this is my mindset. This is my idea. My idea is, let's go ahead and let's start preparing for the worst case scenario. Now, is the worst case scenario going to happen? Who knows, right? What is the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is this. Let's say that Hollywood really gets caught up in all of the wokeness and all of the politicking that's currently going on and decides not only to start canceling their films. We've seen this in a minor effect to what they've done with Gone with the Wind, where they took it off of HBO Max and they've attached something that you have to watch prior, a little short film to explain the historical relevancy, a little trigger warning to add to the very beginning of the film. But then we've also seen some other things, right? We've seen shows like Little Britain, where physical copies of that show, apparently by the BBC, are no longer being produced, right? So we're already seeing some forms of censorship where films are either already being altered in their digital formats, and if they're being altered in their digital formats, Lord knows that eventually those will transfer over to their physical formats. But then also it kind of leaves us in the position where, what if in the not too near future, and again, I think that we are absolutely looking at a situation where this is a theoretical possibility. We've seen book burning happen before when that was the major medium, right? How many stories, how many things have been lost in history because of that, where we could potentially be losing a lot of the films that we have. Not just them being taken off the shelves, but studios even saying, oh yeah, we're going to try and hunt down these copies and destroy them or put them in a vault or make them unavailable or only make them available with certain caveats. And so my idea is this. So this is my idea, my proposal for a film preservation project is going to be, I want to start the process of digitizing those movies that seem to be the most susceptible, that seem to be the most problematic, the most at risk of being either censored or canceled altogether. And my plan is to digitize those films in their original form, in their fullest form, right? The highest resolution possible, every single bit of data, all of the extra special features, everything, every single thing about it, to preserve it, store it, so that if ever it comes a time when we can't go out and buy a copy of a film, a studio says, nay, we're not going to sell this anymore. That at the very least here in Asgard, and hopefully by extension, the Phantom Menace and anyone else really who wants it, that we will have access to the original copy of that film and kind of like an underground railroad almost, be able to get access to it and be able to give access to it. And so my plan is this. My plan is to look at the films that I already have, because as you all know, I've already digitized my entire collection. All of the Blu-rays I have on my shelves, I already have my own server where I've digitized them. But it's only in one form, right? It's only in one, it's listed as what we call an MKV file, right? So just think about an MP4 file, a video file. MKV is just another video format. What I want to do is I want to be able to take the movies and put them into what we call ISO files, sometimes .iso files. What that is it's an image file. Basically, it's what you put onto a blank Blu-ray, and once the file is on the blank Blu-ray, you put that into a Blu-ray player, boom, everything plays. It is just as if you have a direct copy-to-copy of that film. Now, let me just make it very clear. My plan is not to start ripping films off and putting them online for everyone to download. All right, so that we're not becoming Pirate Bay Part 2, right? That's not my plan. Rather, at this point, at this early stage, the plan is looking at the films, and obviously y'all can help me with this too, right? Y'all can say, hey, do you have this? Hey, maybe you should try and get this down, because the other part of the project is going to be hunting these things down, right? What are some films and some television series that are already being canceled, that are already being impacted, that are already being put in a position where it's either very hard for it to be accessible or it's being taken out altogether, right? That's something that is already happening. How do we find those films? How do we get those films and get access to them, digitize them, and then be able to therefore save them, right? And again, I'm sure there's other projects that are going on. I know many of you will say, well, the Pirate Bay, all these other places already do it. Here's the problem with Pirate Bay, though, is that let's say you want to access that. You don't know who you're getting that information from. You don't know what's attached to that information, what viruses are attached, what tracking information is attached to it as well. And mine is, again, not to become the next Pirate Bay. It's rather to take the media and to preserve it. All right, and here's where the project comes in. And again, this is just my own project. This is something that I'm trying to put forward as an alternative, as an option. And it goes a little bit something like this. All right, it goes a little bit something like this, right? So as you all know, I have my own personal server already for all of my movies. What I would like to do is be able to get to the point where I have a separate server whose sole purpose is to put all of the films that we're talking about here. So, for example, Blazing Saddles. Lord knows Blazing Saddles is probably at the top of the hit list. Even though Richard Pryor was involved in the making of the film, doesn't matter, right? We all know that there are certain films that are going to be on the hit list, right? Putting films that are at risk of being either limited, censored, or just all around deleted altogether. Putting that onto this separate server as a full image file that I could go to at any time. And again, this is where I would fight against the company. This is where I would walk that legal line. Is if a company says, hey, we're not selling this anymore, you can't get it from us anymore. At that point, it's okay, well, how else can we access it? Oh, wait, that's right. We have it. And we have a way of getting it to the people that want it. Now, we're not there yet. That's something that could very well happen. So, if this is something that you have interest in, if this is something that you think you might want to contribute to, you can donate via Streamlabs donation. I recommend donating via PayPal just because, as you all know, YouTube takes 30% of every donation. Streamlabs takes very little, just processing fees. And we can get this process started. Now, in order to get the actual server and to get the actual discs themselves, my goal is around $1,000. Now, I know that's a lot of money. It's a difficult time right now. Everyone is obviously trying to save as much money as they can. And also, let's be honest, this is not the most important thing going on in the world right now, right? There are many more important things going on. There are many other projects that are going on. There are many other things that maybe you should donate your money to instead. Like people trying to get healthcare, people trying to get surgeries, etc. This is merely for anyone that's a film buff, for anyone that believes in the preservation of film, that believes in the stopping of the censoring of film, and wants to help me get to the point where I can start to actually do this and fully dedicate time to it, because I'm out of storage, right? I have all of my films stored, but I want to start to actually save these movies again in their original forms, full-fledged, not just movies, but the special features, behind the scenes stuff, things that could also, right, get deleted in other things as well. If you've been following the channel the last couple of days, you saw that I've gone to a couple of places like Family Video, a place here locally called McKay's that has a lot of used stuff, has a lot of collector's items, things that you really can't get access to anymore. So those are things that could also at the same time be preserved as well. And I have had some success. So I hold in my hands right now a few of those successes, right? So I actually had a Region B movie that I was able to make that plays on every single thing of Mad Max. Mad Max preserved, right? I have the image file. I have the image file there. Inner Space, recent movie that I got preserved. Big one, Blazing Saddles. Got that one preserved. Gone with the Wind. Biggest one, right? Definitely one of the biggest ones that's being attacked right now. Preserved. All of these discs I just showed you are fully playable films. And the files that I have are taking up pretty much the last bit of gigabit data that I have on my own personal servers, right? So this goal right here, this film preservation project, this is, again, a separate thing to try and not just look through the films that I have to do full saving, right? Not just the movie, but everything with it in the ISO image that could be used to put onto a Blu-ray disc, but also to go about hunting down films or television shows that have either already been canceled or are in danger of canceling, and to preserve them. So, again, that's a project that I have. It's going to be happening for the next 30 days or so. So, again, if that's something that you feel you would like to donate to, great. Again, PayPal is a great option. Streamlabs is a great option. Obviously, of course, this is an upgrade to the current setup that I have. But again, it's going towards a separate server meant for this specific project. Because I already have my own server. It already has those, my own films saved. This is to try and preserve those endangered films in their full form, and also to go about trying to hunt down other films to buy those films, because you all know sometimes when they're not easy to find, they go up in price, to get those and to preserve those as well. And I'm willing also to take ideas that you might have, better ideas that you might have. But to me, I think the best thing going forward is, again, to not only have the physical disc, but also to have that digital backup as well. Because discs, as we all know, they can get scratched. And the process that I have now established, I can essentially make a one-to-one copy of a movie, right? So let's say one of my discs I'm watching it gets scratched. If I have that digital file like I do, boom, it's saved. Anyway, that is what I currently have planned. So that's the film preservation server and upgrades project. So again, if you wish to donate to that specifically, I'll mention it again for the next several streams, of course. And again, you'll see the goal above my head. Right now we're at $0, but that's okay. It happens. Again, I know that there's a lot of things going on, more important things in the world right now, but I'm excited about it, and I would love to see it happen. I would love to be able to get that process going. So anyway, that's enough for me for right now. Let's go ahead and dive into the chat. So let's start off with my D-Live fam. Got to show love to my D-Live fam. So D-Live fam, we got Captain K-Man and Outback Zach in the chat. What is going on, everybody? Captain K-Man just resubbed for a month and is now on a 3-month sub streak. I appreciate you very, very, very much. And that's it from D-Live. D-Live's very quiet tonight, so thank you for listening. Over on YouTube, we had Latino Slant was here very early. Venom Broly 93 was in the chat. Mr. Roy, Slasher Neons, Matthew Gaudette. Rookie Pilot asked the meaning of life. I told him the meaning of life, of course, was 42. Mark Lazurth was in the chat. Hail to you, Mark Lazurth. Mike Jackson was in the chat. Keck44, Orange Hat Reviews. The K-Man, who's not only a member over on YouTube, but is also a member over in the D-Live fam and the D-Live community. So thank you so very much for that. Also, before I get any further, I do have some donations to shout out first. Geek True 64, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. He says, physical media is more important now than ever. This is incredibly true. It really is. And again, that's why, I want to preserve the physical media, not only by obtaining the media that's in danger, but backing it up as well. Saving it in that way. Being able to replicate it if we come to that point, right? That's the main point of that project. Father Christopher Miller says, Lucas tried to wipe out the Christmas special. Yes, he did, right? And it took people going out of their way to preserve it, right? Now, down the line, years down the line, if I'm in a position where I can hunt down, 35 millimeter prints of older films and be able to preserve films in that way, I would love to do that. I would love to do my own scans of films. Don't have the capacity to do that right now. So all that I can do is be able to scan the movies that we have available on DVD and Blu-ray. Sometimes there's films that are only available on DVD and be able to preserve them in that way. So yes, absolutely. Right, Father. And Super Anime Gamer, thank you for the $3 super chat, says, for the love of cinema. Damn right. Damn right. It's all about the love of cinema. No question about it. And Latino Slant says, for the sake of cinema, hail Odin. Thank you very much. And remember that if you want to donate to this project, please donate via Streamlabs or via PayPal. Because remember that through YouTube donations, through YouTube super chats, YouTube takes 30% of that. So if you, again, wish to help to donate and support the project, again, the goal there, and let me just go ahead and check. Yeah, so it looks like super chats don't count towards it. And again, Streamlabs donations, you can find a link to it in the description of the video. Also, of course, my PayPal works as well, though, of course, PayPal donations directly don't show up here automatically. But I, of course, once I find, again, I check my emails throughout the stream, or if you just tell me, hey, by the way, check your PayPal, I can shout you out, and then I can try and see if I can manually add to that project. So thank you so much again for everyone willing to and wanting to be a part of this project. I appreciate it. I'm excited for it, hoping that we can get it done. And I, of course, will try and put as much of my own money towards it as well. But obviously, just like with a lot of things, we all need a little bit of help, especially since YouTube is very, very slow right now. And it's very, very hard right now to be on YouTube. All right, Father Christopher Miller in the chat. Hail to you, Father Latino Slant. Hail to you. Alex McCarthy says, howdy, Odin. How's it going? Long time no see. He was there earlier. Cancel Venom says, are pants mandatory? In this stream, always. It is always necessary. Laura, whose name now is Waiting for Nerdrotic. Hail to the chat. Hail to you. Glad to see you in the chat. Canceled Venom, who is, of course, Zero Duality, had a comment before everything skipped on me like it always does. Because of course, everything always has to skip on me. He says, hail Valkyrie, hail Odin, hail old house. Of course you would. Elizabeth, I see you in the chat. What is going on? Father Christopher Miller says, ruh-oh, Odin's head is starting to grow hair like a chia pet. This is very true. Very true. The wound on the back of my head is starting to heal up. I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks I can start to shave it again. Super Anime Gamer says, hey, what is up, my dude? What is going on? Super Anime Gamer. Mike Jackson says, better find that razor. Looking stubbly there. I see what you did. Greta Zender says, hello, Odin and everyone. Hello there, Greta. How art thou? Appreciate you. Tina says, the Odin Film Preservation Project. That's pretty much what it is right now. That's pretty much what it is. We'll see if we can actually get it going, though. Waiting for Nerdrotic says, just finished the Unorthodox series on Netflix. Lovely story of a young woman who leaves an Orthodox Jewish community to start a new life as a musician. I've seen ads for it overall. Doesn't seem like my cup of tea personally. Soul Assassin, I see you in the chat. Latino Slant, who is indeed a member on the channel, says Odin Fandom Film Library. That'd be awesome. That would be freaking awesome, man. And some off the record access. That who knows, right? Who knows? Down the line, maybe down the line. But initially, of course, always just to try and preserve it. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Robert Frey, what is going on? How is it going? Father Christopher Miller says, worst case scenario is an EMP wiping out all electronics. This is also true, right? That is the worst case scenario. EMP, of course, would destroy the server, no question about it. But then again, if we get the server, that means we can also then at that point get to the point of being able to buy up the media, and then we would still have the physical discs. So the server is there mainly to be a backup, to be able to replicate the discs if need be, if we get to that point. Mirror Jeremy says, hail to you, good sir. Harwick says, Tina Fey is having 4 episodes of 30 Rock taken down of all streaming platforms out of syndication because of blackface in them. Yeah, it is true. That is indeed true. It's one of those things where I obviously don't like censorship, but Tina Fey sucks. I don't think she's funny at all. Never got into 30 Rock either, so it means little to me in that aspect. But when it comes to censorship, yes, I think that's ridiculous. But also, it's by her choice as well, right? They are canceling their own show. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, right? Because it's going to be the studios. It's going to be the actors that are going to end up canceling or trying to cancel or trying to wipe out everything, right? And so that's where I want to come in, right? That's again my plan to try and save everything that I possibly can. Because again, I have all the movies I just showed you. Those currently are backed up. I can make as many copies of those as I want. And if they ever come to the point where they say, oh no, we're not selling it anymore, if Odin has it on Odin's server, let's just say giveaways will become a lot more interesting. Tina says, you will be la resistance. Yes, you will be la resistance indeed. Nana Reaper says, so I'm guessing you will need to save everything by Mel Brooks. Yeah, pretty much. That's why I started off with Blazing Saddles. But of course, I would love to start doing his entire collection once I actually have the server space to do so. Because as I said, I'm like reaching like the I'm reaching the point of not having enough space. Let us see here. Mr. Roy, thank you so much, dude. Mr. Roy donated $10 via Streamlabs. That's how you do it, man. So thank you for donating via Streamlabs. He says, for the film server, I'm also working on setting up a disk drive for you for ripping 4K discs. I will ship it to you as soon as it's ready. Dude, Mr. Roy, thank you so much, man. Even if that, right, just if you even know if my disc can do it with the proper software, let me know, man. If you can even follow me, like just guide me through that, I could definitely make that work, man. Because yeah, preserving 4K discs too, that would be amazing. But then again, with the 4Ks, that's going to need even more space, which is why it's very important to have the server. So Mr. Roy, thank you. Let me see if that did have an impact. Let's see. Boom, there it is right there. Yeah, so when you donate via Streamlabs, boom, we got 1%. We got 1% of the goal. Thank you very much, Mr. Roy, for getting that going, man. I'm going to go ahead and leave that up just for you, just to show off the glory of the first donation towards the film server. And also, dude, seriously, thank you very much for helping out and for setting up a disk drive for me, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, if you think that I can, because if you want after the stream, just contact me. I'll let you know which drives I have, because I have the one that's built into my PC, and then I've got an external Pioneer. I think one of them, every time I use Make MKV, says that it's possible to use that Libre drive that is able to read 4Ks, but I have no idea how to do that. So that could be another way of doing it, though. But of course, it's up to you, dude. So, but again, dude, Mr. Roy, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate that. Let's see. Edgardo Martinez says, I already feel like William Fichtner in Equilibrium. Great film, by the way. But yeah, that's a great example of a movie where it's like every day it seems like we're moving closer to that kind of society. All right, it's time to take your pills. All right, it's time to be a part of the machine. It's time to lack any emotion. Let's get rid of any books. Let's get rid of any movies that might make you give ideas. Can't have that, everybody. Can't have that. No. I say nay to that. Mike Martinez says, McKay's is great. I usually like to go with my friends and we find a lot of cheap Blu-rays. If I had friends up here, I sound like such a loner. I would be going there all the time too. Like seriously, just that one time going, I stayed longer than I expected. I thought, I'm going to go in here, get some footage. I'm sure it'll be really cool. But then I actually started to look at the titles and I'm like, damn, they got tons of stuff. Some of it's well priced, some of it wasn't well priced. But when you got to, especially to those collections, like I got to that one Steve McQueen collection, and even though it was on DVD, like $15 for 6 movies? That's a really good deal. Again, they are used, but the 2 movies I got, as you remember from anyone that was paying attention, I got The Happening with Mark Wahlberg because I just had to get that for a few. No, wait, did I get that yesterday? Yes, I did. So I had to get that for a few bucks. That was just too good of a deal to pass up. But then I also got Die Hard with a Vengeance, and this one also, again, was only a few bucks used. And sure enough, the discs crisp and clean, not a scratch on them. So yeah, McKay's I think is going to be McKay's is going to be a great resource. Like if we can get the server off the ground, McKay's is where I'll be probably every weekend to see, okay, do they have anything new? What else can I get? Let me make a list. In fact, I already have a list of a couple things. So obviously, I have a personal list and then a list of things that might be out of print and might be hard to find. So someone actually recommended Clone Wars, the original 2D, volumes 1 and 2. Apparently, it only ever got released on DVD. So that's something I'll be on the lookout for McKay's. But yeah, that is, again, I think going to be a great resource to try and find some out-of-print stuff, some things before edits, and some films that maybe have already been canceled, right? Could definitely have already happened. The K-Man, thank you so very much, man. He donated $20. Dude, thank you so much, man. $20 via Streamlabs donations. Thank you so much, man. That goes towards the film project. He says, because when you can, you do. In this situation, I can preserve cinematic history. Well, K-Man, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate it. Again, not everyone can right now, right? There's a lot of things going on in the world. There's a lot of things that obviously many people would see as more important. And I, again, understand that, respect it. I always ask, hey, just like the video, smash the like button, just be present, and be awesome. Keep being you. But if you can give that little bit more, especially when I have projects like this, that's awesome too, man. So ZK Man and Mr. Roy starting things off for us. So thank you so much, man. We are now 3% of the way there. Thank you so much, man. That's awesome. So shout outs to Mr. Roy and K-Man for doing that. Alrighty. Dean Heiss is in the chat, says, aloha, YouTube peeps. Aloha, Dean Heiss. What are you doing over on YouTube? Let us see here. And here's the point that I knew someone was gonna try and make. And he says, Hanifany Din says, torrent sites already preserve everything. Yes. But then when you download it, you also have a very good chance of getting a virus. The quality of what you're getting has been compressed. You're not getting all the special features. You're not getting the way the film was originally intended. You have a lot of issues. There are a lot of issues that come with using those torrent sites. And again, my goal is not to be another torrent site. My goal is to be a place where I can have all of this stuff backed up, preserved. And if a studio says, because we're already seeing this with Little Britain, where the BBC has said, yeah, we're not going to put any more copies out. Like, it's the reason why I want to have it there is because let's say a studio says, yeah, we're not making any more copies of this. Or we're going to start to round up copies. Like if you have a copy on Amazon, boom, we're taking all the inventory out of Amazon. We're taking all of this stuff out, right? It's going to take people like me and others. Like I know I'm not the only one. Trust me, I know I am not the only one thinking like this or doing something like this. But I'm trying to do it in a community effort to say, all right, we're going to have this place to go to where if crap hits the fan And if they say, yeah, you can't buy it anymore, we're not making it, we say, okay, guess we'll make our own then, right? Because I'm not for all the, okay, let's, pirate on low resolution, etc. But if you're not going to give us a way of buying it, that's when, to me, it crosses that, again, that between the moral and legal. Again, I want to hear Father's take on that. You hear what I mean, though, Father. I think you hear what I mean. Edgardo Martinez says, just Blu-rays? No, DVDs too, right? Because obviously there are certain films that have never been transferred to Blu-ray, and there are many that never will because of this very reason. There's a lot of a great example of that would be Song of the South, right? Song of the South, the only reason why that movie still exists is because of preservation efforts. Because people took the DVDs, digitized them. Some were actually able to find, I think, the 35 millimeter prints of the film and get like a 1080p video format of it. That's the way it happens, right? That's the way you do it. So I'm just trying to be one of the many voices and one of the many persons to try and, again, create a repository of saved media, create a repository of preserved films. I would put television in there as well, right? Because television shows could also easily be attacked. Mike Martinez says, apparently there's a rumor going around that Disney is going to completely retcon the sequel trilogy. What are your thoughts on this rumor? Would be amazing if it's true. It's not going to happen, Mikey. Dude, we've been hearing that rumor forever. Remember how, I have all these sources. Remember, yeah, Kathleen Kennedy's going to be gone 2 years ago. Oh, yeah, they're gonna throw Ryan Johnson out on his tush tomorrow. And then none of that stuff happened, right? We've been hearing rumors so often about that kind of stuff. So it's not going to happen. It's just not. They're not going to retcon the sequel trilogy. Now there is talk of them remaking the originals, either through the cartoons, which they've kind of already been doing, or through a specifically cartoon series, retelling the stories instead, with, of course, different voice actors, etc. That, I think, is possible, because that's the idea that we're currently living in Hollywood, right? Let's remake it for a modern era. Let's remake everything for a modern era, right? And that's the justification that they'll have for it. But the sequel trilogy, no. They're not getting rid of that. They are not going to change it. So I don't know who's reporting on that rumor, but I don't buy it for a second. Edgardo Martinez, who's a member, says, I was kind of doing the same, but with DVDs and no ISO backups because there was no wokeness then. Yeah, now I think is the time, right? Now is the time to start backing up the media that you have, right? Or helping others do the same if you can't do it yourself. Tina says, let me ask, Odin, if anyone wants to donate specifically to the cause, how do they make sure it goes to that only? Very, very good question. Basically, if it goes into, right, if it goes through Streamlabs donation, as of now, for the next 29 days, that's why it says 29 days, if it goes through Streamlabs or PayPal, and if you donate through PayPal, just go ahead and leave a note saying, for this, because from what I gather from what Streamlabs does is that I can actually change that number to reflect what the actual number is. So obviously there's a level of trust. Hopefully you trust me at this point. But anything that goes through Streamlabs is going to update this bar. As you've been seeing, the last 2 Streamlabs donations have updated this bar. But let's say you donate instead just directly through PayPal. Just put there. You can always leave messages on those PayPal donations. Just put for the server. And then I'll make a note of it. And then my goal is going to be to try and update it manually. Or if I don't update it manually, then every time we have a stream, I'll say, hey, here's the number on Streamlabs. Here's the number on PayPal. And then that way I can shout out the people on PayPal who donated that as well. So that's a way I think. Actually, Father, I'm glad you asked that, because that's a way to keep me honest. And it's a way to keep the whole process more transparent. And yeah, so thank you, Father, for asking that question, though. I appreciate it. Because I didn't think about that, because I assume that PayPal donations could also directly go through this, but I think Streamlabs only counts this if it's a donation through Streamlabs. But again, PayPal works as well. So, and again, I will add those on manually, and I will always shout you out. And if I don't, that's when you can come into the chat and you can talk to my Valkyries, because my Valkyries do not put up with my crap, and they'll say, Odin, what's going on here? Odin, what's going on here? Oh man, oh man. But yes, thank you for asking the question. Very, very important question, for sure. Michael Martinez says, Regal is going to reopen with showing some classic films. They will be showing the entire Dark Knight trilogy, Empire Strikes Back, Jurassic Park, and a lot more. And that would be great, Mikey, but they're also forcing everyone to wear a mask. And until I'm told I can take my mask off while I'm sitting down, I'm not going to a Regal, Cinemark, or an AMC. Simple as that. Right? It's one thing if you ask me to wear it in the lobby. It's one thing for you to ask if I wear it while I'm walking around the theater. But as soon as I sit down and I have my popcorn and soft drink, at that point I should be allowed to have my mask off for the rest of the film. And until I can get that in writing, I have no plans to go. As much as I want to go to a theater, I refuse to go while they are requiring me to wear a mask at that specific time. Right? The most I'm willing to do is wear it when I'm entering the theater, etc. But that is exciting that they are, again, doing these classic stuff. Again, it's very exciting that they're doing this classic stuff, but again, it is also about that experience as well. Very much about this experience. It's part of the process of, of enjoying a movie, right? All right, the chat has jumped on me, but luckily no comments were skipped. So let me go ahead and check up with my D-Live fam. We got a small crowd over there tonight. So affiliate to Hobbit, what's going on? Thank you for the follow. Phonema says, I'm surprised Amazon doesn't just buy the rights to publish the physical versions and publish them themselves. I agree. But we do live in cancel culture, right? We do believe in cancel culture. Or rather, they believe in cancel culture. We live in a world of cancel culture, and so something tells me that Amazon probably would not be on board for that. Would probably not be on board for that. Biffy Tennant says, are you switching to buzzing your head with the number 1? It looks better than the shaved no hair. Oh, well, Biffy Tennant, that hurts my feelings. I do plan to go bald again, but I had an injury. Not an injury. Basically, I had a mole removed on the back of my head, and so I'm waiting for that one to fully heal, and then I plan to shave it again, at least for the remainder of summer. No Omahe. That's how it was spelled, was no Omahe. By the way, if you don't know how to donate via Streamlabs, just go to the link. It's in the description of the video. Everything's in the description of the video. It says Streamlabs. Click on it, and then it essentially works the same exact way that YouTube does. So just like YouTube will take credit card information, the good thing about Streamlabs, though, it'll also take PayPal as well. So that can make it more secure for you yourself. Dean Heiss, thank you very much for the $10 donation via Streamlabs for the preservation of film. Boom. Abso-freaking-lutely. And yeah, as I said, if you're donating via Streamlabs, for the next 29 days, anything via Streamlabs goes directly to this project. Right? So again, anything through Streamlabs goes directly to this project. If you donate directly through PayPal instead, so not through Streamlabs PayPal, but through PayPal directly, then just please leave a note saying this is for that, and then I will, of course, will mark that down, and we'll share that the next time it happens or when I get an update for it. So, but thank you, Captain Dean Heiss, man. You are freaking awesome. Tina B, dropping it down. Tina B says, a tiny something from your Valkyries preserve the best. Damn right, Tina. Thank you so much for the $4 donation. Again, every little bit helps. I was thinking about it the other day. I was thinking about it earlier saying, man, if every subscriber I had, again, we're up to 22,700. If every single subscriber I had just donated $1, I'd have $22,000. Imagine the server I could get. Imagine the films that I could buy. Imagine like the rare stuff that you can't get anymore. I could preserve. Boom. It'd be awesome. So thank you so very much, Tina. I appreciate that. Again, every little bit helps. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're awesome. We're 4.4% of the way there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. We still got 29 days, right? We still got 29 days. And of course, after the 29 days, if you want to donate to it, you can just say that this is for that specific project. But after the 29 days, at that point, any Streamlabs donations will just go directly to the channel like it would normally do. But for now, it's going specifically to this project. So thank you. Waiting for Nerdrotic, Laura says, I would preserve Big Trouble in Little China, Shanghai Noon, History of the World, Forrest Gump, Tropic Thunder, Dirty Harry. A lot of good good shouts there. I own a couple of those movies for sure. So as soon as I get the space to do so, yes. In fact, I actually I'm gonna go ahead and write those down. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this one off, because that one. Does Die Hard 2 need to... I mean, I guess Die Hard 2 could be seen as problematic, but I'm going to put that more as like just my own personal thing. But I don't own some of these already. So let's see. Big Trouble. Little China. And then that way I have a reference. That way the next time I go to McKay's, I can look and see if these are available. So that way I can at least have them physically. I have History of the World, but I'll write that down. So that's definitely one to... yeah, I'd say there's actually a lot of things in History of the World that are going to be seen problematic by today's standards. Forrest Gump. Though, to be honest, Forrest Gump just seems... I guess, yeah, you're right. It's one of those things where you're like, wait a minute, but it's got Tom Hanks in it. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. Tropic Thunder, no question about it. I'm surprised Tropic Thunder hasn't been like fully canceled yet. And then Dirty Harry. Cool. So I got those written down. So thank you for that very much for those recommendations waiting for Nerdrotic. I appreciate that. Latino Slant says, Odin, now you tell me. Now I tell you what. What do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? Father says, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Mickey Rooney in Asian face. I did not know that. Ooh, Lord. I believe I own that one, but I'll write it down as a part of the preserved list. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Cool. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let us see. I got that. Cool. Larry. Holy crap, dude. Thank you so much. Larry just donated $60. Holy crap, man. Thank you so much. And Larry, you've been, I mean, seriously, Mr. Roy, K-Man, Dean Heiss, Tina, the Valkyrie, of course, Steph as well. Larry, y'all have always been very, very supportive of the channel. So thank y'all so very much for y'all's generosity tonight with this as well, man. So Larry just donated $60 towards it. And he says, best of luck, Odin and movie lovers. Well, Larry, thank you very much, man. We are now 10% of the way there. Did not think that we would be getting that far along tonight. So thank you so very much for that, man. I really do appreciate it. You're awesome. Thank you, man. And thanks to everyone that's donated. And if you haven't been able to donate or you can't donate, hey, it's okay. I still love you. I still love you and respect you, and I will still be reading the comments like I normally do. By the way, Stephanie B., I see that now you're saying, sup, Chief. Thank you for being here. I know that you have work, so thank you very much for being able to join us. Thank you. Sasha Neon says, I prefer less bald Odin. Get anything nice for Father's Day. No 9 irons, I hope. No 9 irons, but I did get a set of matching clothes. So one is for baby, and it has Baby Shark on it. And then I have a shirt that says Daddy Shark. And then, of course, my wife Freya has one that says Mommy Shark. So it's actually pretty cute. So I got that from my mother-in-law. Mother-in-law. Ba-da-da-do. Da-do. Da-do. Alrighty here. Let us see. Stephanie B. just shouted you out. Let me see what is going on over on the D-Live fam. How is it going on the D-Live fam? Let's see. Where are we? In the D-Live fam? By the way, I need to move this because it's blocking the images. There we go. Well, I guess I don't want to hide it. Let's see if I can move it around a little bit. Oh, no. Don't want to move that. All right, here's where Boomer Odin comes in. There we go. All right, that should still show. Boom, cool. So now all the images will still show up. Perfect. And then let me go ahead and just lock that in place because Lord knows we don't want that to be underdone. Before that, CTAP76, thank you for the $5 super chat, says, I'd include an under-the-radar TV show like Sledgehammer for preservation. Yeah, it's a parody of Dirty Harry, but it won't see airtime today. All right, well, that's definitely something to consider for sure. Yeah, because TV recommendations also as well. Now, please don't inundate me with TV and movie recommendations right now, because obviously the priority is trying to get the server set up so that way I can start to start to digitize everything and get everything listed on there. But thank you so much for the recommendations, man. I appreciate it. I just realized I'm like, oh Lord, something tells me I'll be writing things down. Maybe what I'll do is I'll create. That might be a good idea. Create a shared Word doc or something that anyone who wants to can edit and say, all right, I'm going to add this. Now, of course, there are problems with that because then it obviously could get hacked by people, and I'll have to find out a way. I'll have to find out a way that can keep both me sane and also to keep the process rolling along as well. But anyway, let me go ahead and get into my D-Live. Will Gentry says, I'd have $22,000 if only it worked that way. Yeah, seriously, if only it worked that way. Phone Nemo says, maybe anything with John Wayne in it. Again, definitely John Wayne films. Will Gentry says, Mickey Rooney's Asian face in Breakfast at Tiffany's is what Dave Chappelle imitated what he did that face in his last special. Yeah, and you know what? Dave Chappelle did a lot of that stuff, but it's okay. It's okay on certain occasions. If you're of a certain background, of course. Again, it's so inconsistent. But either way, no. Let these things happen. All right. Caught up on D-Live. Alex Martinez says, hello there, everyone. Check your PayPal, says Alex Martinez. I will check my PayPal. Let us see. Sometimes that's what I need. Let's see. What is this? Wait, what is this? Sorry, some of these things pop up very well. Boom, Alex Martinez, thank you very much for the $5 through PayPal. Says, good luck, amigo. I hope your passion project comes true soon. Boom, thank you very much, man, for that. I will be sure to add that to it. So again, I'm pretty sure there's a way for me to, after the fact, add that to the total that's up right now. And so, but again, you've heard it here now. We're technically at $109 right now. I don't know what the percentage of that would be, but boom, Alex Martinez, $5. Thank you very much for that donation via PayPal. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. And that is the way to do it. That is the way to do it. Thank you so much, man. Super Anime Gamer says, I'm okay. It's not a good day. Couldn't sleep last night. Went to bed at 9 a.m. Woke up at 5 p.m. But I'm feeling better now with Asgard. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, man. And I'm sorry that you're not feeling well. I was feeling a little bit funky before the stream, but whenever I could start the stream, things just just makes me feel better. Just has fun. Just have a lot of fun, and it's great. Gigamus Prime says, now that Terry Crews and Will Smith are speaking out against wokeness, will this help defeat it faster? No. It's not going to help it because it can never really be defeated because the people that believe in it fully, and they will basically take it until their dying day. It's pretty much what's going to happen with that. So he also says, you preserving films reminds me of Obi-Wan and Yoda saving the Jedi holocrons during Order 66 in Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, it's a very good point. Very good point. Let us see. 70B says, Odin really does spend the donations on what he says he does 100%. Thank you very much, 70B. I appreciate that. And I do, right? It's not often that I run these things. As you all know, the last time was to upgrade the audio, and here we go. You see with your own eyes what it was spent on. The first one I ever did was to raise money for the PC. Boom. PC. You even saw me try to build the damn thing for your own entertainment. It was awful. So yeah, I don't just put this stuff out there to be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna raise so much money. It's like, no, seriously, it's like I want to do this project, but I cannot do it on my own. And so, hey, got to get by with a little help from my friends, right? That's I think a good philosophy to have. You all know that if there's ever anything that y'all really needed, I would try and help y'all out the best that I can. And obviously, this is not nearly as important as that, but it is obviously a very something that I'm very passionate about, something that I really do honestly believe in. So, but thank you very much, Steph, for doing that, and for reminding me the last couple of times that we've tried something similar. Back in the day when we had Sensei Mike in here, for anyone that's been around for a while, Sensei Mike would come in and he would just drop bombs, and that was even without raising anything, right? He would just be like, "Boom, here you go, take it." Dean Approved says, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Dean Approved says, throwing money at one of my favorite YouTubers. What's this about a donation bar? Well, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. So basically, this bar represents any donation via Streamlabs. And then after the fact, because I have to, with PayPal, if you go through PayPal directly, I have to, put that in manually because, again, technology sucks. But if you go to the Streamlabs link and you donate directly via Streamlabs, which does give you a PayPal option through Streamlabs, then it pops up on this bar. It goes towards this bar. And all that this means is that any money that's raised through Streamlabs during this time is going to be going towards the film preservation server. So to get the server, obviously once the server is there, because the server is its own thing, you then need hard drives for it too. So that's what the end goal. So again, ideally 1,000 would cover the entire server and also the hard drives to be able to hold it as well, and also probably some of the movies as well that have been recommended to be able to buy as well. So yeah, all of it goes towards that. And if there's anything left over, I would be more than willing to easily give that to charity. But we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I don't want to make any promises for anything else. But that's something that we will definitely have to do soon. All right. Gimus Prime says, I hate this 1984 old world so much that I wish I could build a time machine and go back and yell at George Orwell in the face. No. George Orwell was warning us about what's going on right now. I wouldn't yell at him. I'd say, dude, you were right. I'd be like, hey, George Orwell, by the way, in 1984, you were ahead of your times. Larry says, you don't need to pay Streamlabs to donate. Seems they are trying to upsell their services to every person. Wait, what do you mean by that, Larry? So yeah, Streamlabs only takes out a processing fee. So Streamlabs, if you pay, like, for example, the example I always give is, let's say you give $100 on YouTube. YouTube takes 30% of that, and then the YouTuber doesn't get it for like a month. Let's say you do that same $100, but you donate via Streamlabs. If it's via PayPal through Streamlabs, it goes to the YouTuber immediately. If it's through like credit card through Streamlabs, it just takes a few days of processing like a normal credit card would. And then the only fees that's taken out of it are processing. So $100 would be $94 or $96. So much more of it actually goes towards the YouTuber, goes towards the person you're trying to support, goes towards the project you're trying to support over using typical super chat or something like that. So, and speaking of which, Greta Zenner, thank you so much, Greta. Greta just donated $20 via Streamlabs donation. So Greta, thank you so much. That really means a lot. Says, I believe in the preservation of cinema and fully against censorship. If a subject matter or portrayal is problematic, we can grow and learn from it instead of pretending it didn't happen. Freaking men, Greta. Greta also has an amazing YouTube channel as well, so please make sure you check her out. She's all about film history. She knows film history better than anyone else. And by the way, Greta, I think that you would appreciate this. I actually got a book on film history, and this is one that I've been eyeing for a while. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's A Short History of Film. I got this one at McKay's that I was talking about, where there's a lot of cheap Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff. I got this thing for $2, and it's actually in really good condition. So Greta, who, again, knows her history, knows her stuff, knows exactly what censorship in film looks like and the impact that it can have, not just on film, but also on the culture at large as well. So again, even though I'm a very small YouTuber, right? I'm a very small YouTuber. We have a very small community here. We are still a mighty community, right? We're here. We support each other. And even though this is a project might seem small to a lot of people, it might seem useless to a lot of people. Hey, I knew as soon as I was getting this together, I was like, Lord knows I'll probably get mocked by some people in the chat saying this is unnecessary, this is useless, etc. And again, you have a right to that opinion. And I'm not going to fight against you on that one. But at the end of the day, I would much rather try and be a part of preserving something that I love, because I love film, and I love film being preserved in its original format. And I hate when studios, again, it's almost like, take a modern example of this, right? Imagine that you had the ability to get the original film print of Justice League before the studio came in and tore it apart, right? Look what the fans did. Look what a fan effort did. It forced the studio's hand, and they're now releasing the Snyder Cut of that film, right? So to a much lesser extent, right? To a much lesser extent, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say, okay, no, I don't care what the studio thinks. I don't want the studio coming in and changing things. I don't want, oh boy, someone just had some fun. I forgot that on Streamlabs, you can pick GIFs. So that's what that random cat was. Just lost my complete train of thought with my ADD because I saw the cat and I'm like, why is there a cat on my screen? But anyway, that was Tippy Tail McKitty. Tippy Tail McKitty, thank you so much for the $5 via Streamlabs going towards the project. And Tippy Tail McKitty says, for piracy. Again, not really piracy here, right? It's preservation. Right, because in all honesty, we are all about trying to preserve the films. So you can trying to get back to the main point before I lost my train of thought. Again, it's about taking something that could easily be taken away. Right, a studio, obviously they own the rights to their projects. A studio could come tomorrow and say, hey, we don't want Blazing Saddles to be sold anywhere anymore. So any copies you have at Amazon, send it back to us. Any copies you have at Best Buy, etc., send it back to us, right? So that is something that is obviously something that I want to fight against, right? I want to not have that be something, right? I want that to not be something that we have to go through. Right, where we have to be scouring for films, where we have to be trying to like make our way through. Are we getting a legitimate film? Are we getting the actual original version of the film or not? Right, I think that's so important. Rosetta Allen, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. Says, sending you a hug and some support. Saw Connors today. I don't quite understand that second part, but thank you so very much for that super chat. And yes, sending hugs your way as well, Rosetta. Hope you're doing well. Prayers out to Rosetta for everything. And cannot wait to talk to you on Sunday for the Chosen of Valhalla stream. That should be fun. And then Laura. Thank you very much, Laura. I believe that is my modern Major General. Thank you very much, Laura. The modern Major General. For the $20 donation via Streamlabs towards the projects, saying for the OMB Film Preservation Server, FPS. Thank you so very much. As now I'm getting distracted because someone else just put another gift. What even was that? Was that a penguin? Was that a penguin that I saw? Dear Lord. Oh, man. So Acid Rabbits, thank you for the $2.50 donation via Streamlabs. Says, for half-assed piracy. It's not piracy. Again, piracy, at least this is my definition, is if I was going to be, all right, I'm going to rip these movies and then I'm going to put them online for everyone to download. Right? That's not my end goal. My end goal is I want to put them onto a server so that if a studio says, nay, we're not letting you have access to it anymore, even though it already exists in the lexicon, that we have then the access and the ability to get it out to people that want it. Right? That's the mindset. That's the goal. Very, very different. But Acid Rabbits, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Rosetta Allen, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says Tom Connors of Mead. Well, thank you for that, because just saying Connors is not enough. But Mead, yes, super too limited. So hopefully, is he okay? I must be missing something here. I hope I'm not. I hope he's okay. But thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Tina B says, yes, Odin. Yes, you did. You got the happening. Yes, I did. I had to. It's $3. And it makes me laugh. Latino Slant says, Odin, check my donation, brother. Did it go through? Did you donate as yourself? Or did you donate via something else? Did you say, is that a PayPal? Is that a PayPal one? Let's see, because if it has a message attached to it, then I'll have a better understanding of it. So, I can't tell. Again, I got Mr. Roy's Latino Slant. I don't know. I'll have to check on that later because all I'm getting are my email notifications about it. And if there's a message attached to it, it tells me more information about it. But I'll check it after the stream. Remind me at the end. Rosetta Allen, thank you for another $2 super chat. Says he's great. Took him a box of late birthday gifts. Well, that's very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Greta Zenner says there's a place in Los Angeles called Amoeba, and it had so many movies for cheap. I got a special edition of West Side Story. Nice. Speaking of films that could easily get censored, West Side Story. I mean, they're just remaking that one, and I think that this is just my own conspiracy. I think that the plan is going to be for them to say, yeah, this is the only West Side Story. The other one does not count. Alex Martinez says, I highly recommend the original 2D Jendi Tarkovsky Clone Wars. It's great. Yeah, I have that one written down. Someone said that next time I go to McKay's to check out to see if they have volume 1 and 2 of that series, because I hear it's hard to find. So it might be able to find it. Larry says HDR makes the most visible difference. Yes, it's true. And that's why really after 4K, there's really no point in going any higher. Like, obviously there's a lot of talk about 8K, but with HDR support in 4K resolution, it's the human eye can really only tell so very much. Super Anime Gamer says, you can do stuff from multiple regions, right? Yes. So from what I tested today. So my test today was I had a region B of Mad Max, and I was able to copy that one. And I was trying to test to see the different ones. So there might be, I might need to get my hands on another non-region A disc just to double check. But basically the one thing that seemed to indicate that what I did worked was I tried playing that into the Blu-ray player that's in my computer, and it wouldn't play in my Blu-ray system. But then I took the copy of it, and that one did play. So it looks like the way that I'm doing it as well can also work cross regions too. So I cannot 100% confirm that yet, but the one test that I've done with that, it was with a region B of Mad Max that Mr. Peabody sent me from Australia. It worked. So I'm going to definitely have to play around with that though. Rookie Pilot, dude, thank you so very much for the $20 donation via Streamlabs. Thank you so much, man. He says, preserving my childhood. Rookie Pilot, thank you so very much, man, for the $20 donation. Abso-freaking-lutely, man. There's so many films, right, that we grew up with. There's so many television shows that we grew up with. I mean, that's another thing too, right? That's another part of the equation is finding these television shows that probably will never get a Blu-ray release and probably got a very limited DVD release that we're gonna have to find, right? Lord knows that the one show I can think of that they probably will go after would be shows like Animaniacs, Ren and Stimpy, shows that were not PC at all. So, I mean, again, those would also be a part of the equation here of trying to find them and trying to preserve them. Now, television I've not played around with yet about how to get those preserved. I imagine I would have to go I'd imagine I'd have to go season by season. That might be something I play around with next, as I just take one of the TV series I currently have and see how I could do that. But that's going to be the next test for sure. Canceled Venom says, I also suggest getting the full series movie of Drawn Together. What's Drawn Together? I actually haven't heard of that. Soul Assassin says, Hollywood editing movies in the modern day version of Hollywood editing movies is the modern day version of book burning done by those other guys. No, Soul Assassin, you're right, man. That's exactly what it is, right? It's all about destroying ideas. It's all about destroying these concepts, destroying history is what it is, right? What's that common expression? Those that do not know history are doomed to repeat it. And it's a simple fact. And that's why it's so important to save and to preserve these things, because if we don't, who will? You know, if the studios are going to actively pursue trying to take these things down, or at the very least limit them so that you have to spend, an arm and a leg just to get them, I mean, what does that say? Right? We live in a very weird time, right? And it's interesting because some people say, Odin, you're over exaggerating. And yet, think about where we were a year ago. Think about what's going on right now in our world. A year ago, you would have said, nah, that'll never happen. That's impossible. And yet, here we are. Here we are. And so that's why I would rather be prepared for, and I'd rather have the option, right? I'd rather have the option and the ability to do something before it's too late. Before I can't do it, before I can't get my hands on the product, on the concepts, right? Absolutely. By the way, holy crap, Tina Bojan, wow, Tina, thank you so very much for that $100 donation via Streamlabs. Tina Bojan, thank you so much. Also, Tina Bojan has been a very, very big supporter on the channel. She also has been joining me on those Twitch morning streams, which has been a lot of fun as well. So Tina Bojan, thank you very much for the $100 donation via Streamlabs. And she says, thanks for sharing your love of movies. Well, thank you for sharing your love of movies as well. Seriously, thank you. And please join us for tomorrow's. We have a movie stream going on tomorrow as well. One way I can make it up to you guys too. One way that maybe you can think of it as, think of it as, I'm paying into this, but I am getting something out of it in return. Is I do every Monday and Wednesday for my summer schedule, I'm doing movie mornings, and as I'm playing the film, I actually share the screen through Discord. So it's like y'all are all watching it with me. Now, of course, Discord, it's not perfect. The image quality isn't the most high def, right? Because of the way that Discord works. But from the people that have watched the films with me through Discord, they say it works well enough to where they can still enjoy the film. Tomorrow, we're watching a film called Kelly's Heroes. That's a movie I've never seen before. It's got a great cast to it. But that's one way, right, where you can, again, get free access to a movie that maybe you don't own or have never seen before, and it's a way to watch it. So I can't guarantee that it'll work for you. But the metric I always use is if it can work for Mr. Peabody, who lives in Australia with his upside-down internet, then I feel like it can work for most people. But Tina Bojan sometimes joins us for those as well, at least stops by. So thank you so much for your support, Tina. I really do appreciate it. And wow, very, very generous of you. Thank you so much for that. Edgardo Martinez, what is going on, man? He says, don't know what happens with Streamlabs, but here's for the preservation server. Viva la resistance. Well, Edgardo Martinez, thank you so very much for the super chat. But as I said, I can't really do much with the super chats. The reason why, as I said, because YouTube holds on to the super chats for a month, and then they take 30% of it. And so basically I would have to essentially do the math on it to figure out how much I could, and I wouldn't be able to do that until a month from now. And that's the reason why the only thing that I'm having going specifically towards the project for the next 30 days, again, just for the next 30 days, or 29 days technically, are Streamlabs donations. So, Edgardo, thank you so very much, though, for the support, for the donation, and maybe I'll be able to try and convert that and put in my own for that, since you were trying to do that. So I'm actually going to make a note of that. What is... I don't know things. COP 10,000. I'll try and add that on to it into the PayPal. I'll take care of it. I'll make sure it goes there. And also, Val, can you remind me about that? Because I want to make sure that goes there. Thank you so much, though, Edgardo Martinez. Really do appreciate it. Let us see here. Where were we in the YouTube chat? Hardwick says, do you get automatically logged out of Geeks and Gamers forum every few minutes? Yes, I do. Alex Martinez says, I hope you are well too and stay safe wherever you are. Also, how are you enjoying summer vacation? Has it started for you yet? Yeah, I've been in summer vacation now for a few weeks. It's been wonderful. It's been great. This new movie morning schedule that we've been going and doing has been fun and fantastic and has been awesome. So I've been having a lot of fun on the morning streams. I can't wait for tomorrow. I look forward to our movie morning streams, and so it's going to be very, very exciting. Sadly, though, our Thursday Twitch stream that I'm also doing, which is I'm calling Good Morning Asgard, it will be late because I have a doctor's appointment at around 8:40 a.m. We normally start those at 9, so my goal is to at earliest start it at 9:30, hopefully get it started by 10 a.m., but of course, I will remind you all of that tomorrow if you are on the movie morning stream. But anyone that watches on Twitch, there's not many that do, but if you do watch on Twitch and you're watching right now, just know that Twitch stream will start a little bit later than usual. By the way, because of those donations from Tina, Edgardo, Rookie Pilots, Acid Rabbits, Laura, Tippy-tail McKitty, Greta, I want to make sure I get everyone who donated via Streamlabs. Larry, Tina B, Dean Heist, the K-Man, Mr. Roy. Thanks, because of all of those donations, we are currently at 27.15%. Wow. Holy crap. Day one. And we're already a quarter of the way there. I hope I did the math right on that. I think that's a quarter of the way. I need my box office numbers again so I can start doing my daily math. I need it in my life. I love it so much, as my friend Az would say. By the way, speaking of which, if you watched my stream, I did a random stream on Twitch this morning. I made a fun little compilation just for the channel. So I'm going to have to play that in a second when I catch up. So I'm going to catch up on YouTube, then I'm going to go to DLive, and then I'll show you what I worked on for the other day. Anyway, Aiden Vickery says, you might want to add the BBC original version of Life on Mars to the list. That ain't going to last long in this climate. Really? Okay. Well, I know that UK stuff especially, when the BBC stuff, to be honest, Aiden, and I know that you're one of my UK guys, that stuff I think is going to be in the most trouble, because I think it was Az that said that they are taking away all the copies available of Little Britain, or at least the show Little Britain. I think Laura did some research on that and said you could still find the comedy special, but you couldn't find the series, or that what you could find was like $200+. So BBC is like dead serious about just destroying, or at least very much limiting the content on that. So Life on Mars, and I'll put BBC next to that because that'll be probably something that I might have to hunt down. So thank you so much for that, Aiden Vickery. I appreciate it. Larry says, Laserdisc had special features that have never been on any other format: interviews, commentaries, deleted scenes, etc. Well, Larry, as I said, one thing at a time. Right now, I have the capacity to work on DVDs and Blu-rays, but as I said, years from now, if I have the capacity to go back and to like actually get the technology to hunt down Laserdisc and preserve, like seriously, I could be really happy in life if my like main occupation or my main hobby was preserving older media. Like if I had a laser disc to Blu-ray or something, some transfer device, that would be awesome. Like if I could find a way to save or preserve or share stuff that's been lost because of the medium that it was on, that would be awesome. That's like the end goal. That's like the long-term end goal. This is the short term. It's like, let's take care of the things that I can physically and mentally take care of at this point. This would be one of them. Nana Reaper says, you probably should get a copy of Gods and Generals. Why? What about Gods and Generals? Tell me more before I write it down, because as I said, I don't want right now for it to get into a let me write down every single thing list. Super says, agreed. I think the only thing we could see Disney do with the sequel trilogy is gradually stop referencing it, because they know how much it drags the brand down. But then again, there's a lot of speculation that they're still planning that, and they're that hard-headed to do it too, right? They're still planning the Rian Johnson trilogy. There's going to be another set of films that are going to have continuity with the sequel trilogy. Yeah. I mean, as much as I want to believe that stuff's going away, I do also understand and believe that they are hard-headed and are not going to easily give up this crap that they've been trying to push on us for so long. Nana Reaper says, since anything about the Civil War will most likely be up for the censorship. Yep. No question about that. That'll definitely be stuff to look into. Father Christopher Miller says, my asking the paying question was to be a smartass, because if it showed up automatically, I would give $1 to be the first. Okay. Well, thank you for clarifying, Father. I appreciate that. Oh, man. Oh, no. It sounds like some people got kicked off of YouTube. Very, very sorry about that if that happened. The chat has indeed jumped on me like it always does. Let's see. All right, so it looks like some comments may have been skipped on YouTube. Right now it is my timestamps. Timestamps are important for me. All right, let's go to live chats. It's 8:09 in the chat, and it is 8:15 where I am. So I'm actually not that far behind, but it looks like some comments may have been skipped. Let me just catch up on DLive real quick. We got 64 people watching, though, so please smash that like button. Thank you so very much for that. I'd appreciate it. Let's see. Sparta, thank you for following. I appreciate that. Error, what's going on? I think that is a naughty name, so I'm not going to pronounce it. Academy High says, I wish we could jump in the Wayback Machine and totally cancel 2020 and start over. Me too. 2020 has been a really, really crappy year. Really crappy. Cam K-Man says, The Conqueror 1956, John Wayne film where he played Genghis Khan, also features Agnes Moorehead, mother-in-law on Bewitched. You know... that'll be canceled over cancel culture. Cancels that. Let's see. The Conqueror 1956. That definitely sounds like one. Yeah. Anytime you have a white actor dressing up like that, that's definitely something that could potentially be potentially attacked. Captain Adam in the Clan, what's going on, good sir? He says, I am sure, Odin, they would mess with the Three Stooges. Oh yeah, well. Three Stooges, though, luckily, I know that my parents have the entire series of that. So luckily, I know that is preserved right now for the moment. Academy High says, original West Side Story won 10 Oscars. No way the remake gets close to that. It'll never supplant the original. No, it won't. And it's probably going to be terrible, too. It's probably going to be god-awful. Have you seen Spielberg's late work of late? It has not been that great. Cam D. Nice, thank you for the 3 ice cream donations. I appreciate you very, very much. Cam Adams says, yes, Kama's internet sucks, but Discord does work fine. Yes, so Cam Adams has been in there, and the Discord has been working great for those movie mornings. Cam Adams says, that's okay. Penny has a vet appointment, so we can find out if she has puppies. Okay, well, hopefully everything is great and fine. Captain Adams says, Odin needs box office numbers so he can get better at math. This is a fact. This is a fact. You need practice. Captain Adams says, your new channel, Odin Saves Movies. That's what I'm going to try. I'm trying, man. Doing what I can. And yeah, Captain K-Man mentioned Betamax. Again, that would be awesome. Taking Laserdiscs, taking things that were specific to that format, were specific to Betamax. That'd be such a fun job. Like, think about it. That'd be such a fun job to do. I want to join that team that's doing the Project 4K80, taking the 35mm prints and preserving the original cut before Lucas destroyed, his vision, his original vision of the Star Wars films, right? Captain High says, yeah, BBC version's Life on Mars was better than American version that only lasted 1 season. That makes sense. Will Gentry says, the thing about the BBC is it'll keep them, and when all this blows over, insanity returns to the masses, it'll reinstate them quietly. Well, I sure hope so. I really feel like we're getting closer. Like every year that goes by, every cycle where this madness happens, we get closer to us not returning. Like we just get that much closer to us not returning to it. And it's a scary thing to think about. It really is. As I'm hearing some ducks, so it looks like some gifting of subs is happening over on DLive right now. But Biffy Tannen says, instead of cancel culture, let's call it what it is, Orwellian censorship. Yep. Nope, no question about that for sure. Captain Mr. Roy just gifted a 1-month sub to Will Gentry. Awesome, dude. Captain Will Gentry is now here. Thank you very much for doing that. Captain Mr. Roy also gifted a subscription to Biffy Tannen. Thank you so very much for that. He also gifted a 1-month subscription to Fat Elvis. So Captain Biffy Tannen, Captain Fat Elvis, thank you so much for being captains on the channel now. And huge shout, of course, to Captain Mr. Roy for his amazing and incredible generosity, man. Thank you. Captain Will Gentry says, getting closer to the edge each time. Exactly, dude. Exactly, right? There's going to come a point where they don't come back. There's going to come a point where there is no saving ourselves from the edge. But yes, send out some thank yous in the chat and some love in the chat to Captain Mr. Roy. He is a freaking legend. He's been a sub on the channel for a long time. He has, of course, been a member of my Chosen of Valhalla for a long time. So I can't wait to have him on the stream this coming Sunday. All right, let's go ahead and jump over into the YouTube chat. Tina. So again, there were some comments that may have been skipped. It's 8:09 in the YouTube chat. It's 8:20 where I am, so 11 minutes behind or so. And we are about 8 minutes or so away to the end of the show. Tina says, I'm sorry, sir. What are Stephanie B and I reminding you of? That I need to convert 10,000 COP, whatever currency that is. And because it was donated by Edgardo Martinez, who couldn't figure out Streamlabs or doesn't have access to it in his country. But he wanted that to go to the Film Preservation Fund. So remind me to convert that and then add that to the fund after, if you can. If you can, so please. Thank you. Alex Martinez says, that's just despicable. People like that are trash, honestly. Sad reality is there are just terrible garbage people out there that will do anything to get their way. I don't remember what that was in context to, but I agree with you. Whatever the context was. Sometimes I fall so far behind, I forget where I am. Dina Proof says, did you hear about the possible retcon of the Disney trilogy using the veil or world between worlds? As I said, the Disney trilogy, the sequel trilogy, it's not going away. I'm sorry, it's not going away. 16-bit mascot, Odin will accept your mail jars of pennies. Please no pennies. Please no Canadian pesos either. That wouldn't be good. Oh, Lordy. Tina B says, I don't do math, so don't ask Valk to do formulas for you on how far the donations have gotten. No, Tina, not that. I'm just saying remind me to do the math, for me to do the math, and then add it myself. Let's see. Latino Slant. I honestly, again, Latino Slant, you keep asking me that. I don't think I'm going to be able to check until after the stream because I've not gotten a notification. I've not gotten an email from anything that sounds like Latino Slant, and I don't want you to dox yourself because sometimes when you donate, it gives your name and such, and again, I keep that information private, so I don't want you to dox yourself on here, so... I will definitely check though after the stream to see what pops up. All right. Soul Assassin says, since when did you have a Twitch account? Planning on moving there, so I'll have to make an account. I've actually had a Twitch account since last summer. I was doing some video game streaming actually last summer, and it was very, very bad. It was very poor stuff. And I decided, you know what, might as well give the Twitch channel some love. I know that there are some people that are Twitch exclusive. Obviously, a lot of the Geeks and Gamers team is moving towards Twitch as well. So I just wanted to have that as an option, especially, you know, with the state of YouTube being where it is, it would just be nice to, you know, have that as a secondary option. Golden Ration, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Appreciate it, man. Forever Sci-Fi says, BBC has been editing Top Gear for years, making a few bits disappear, like Hammond's comments about Mexico. I don't know much about Top Gear, but again, I don't like that. Alex Martinez says, ignore that last one. It was meant for Tina. Okay. Cupcake Geek says, hi. What's going on, Cupcake Geek? Tina Proof says, YouTube comment skip. Those are the screeching eels. Grandpa, we're already past that part. I love that movie. Oh, Princess Bride. So good. Latino Slant says, Gods and Generals, long Civil War flick plus 4+ hours more historical. Damn. Nice. Then Tina says, Gods and Generals is about both sides of the Civil War on, God forbid, a Confederate be shown in a decent light, even if they were wrong in what they were stood for. So it shows both sides of history. That sounds fair. Showing both sides of a story. We can't have that. We can't have that at all. I'll go ahead and write that down, though. Gods and Generals. Sounds interesting. Latino Slant says it starred Martin Sheen and Jeff Daniels. That's a good cast right there. That's a solid cast you got right there. Good, sir. All right, chat has jumped on me like it always does, but luckily no comments were skipped. So I'll stay on YouTube for now, since I think DLive is still freaking out that every single person is getting subs over there. Let's see. Tina B says, The Conqueror is a terrible movie, but shouldn't be canceled. And they filmed it near an atomic test site, and almost everyone connected to the movie got canceled. Well, that's terrible. That is awful. Hardwick says, the rumor Jim Cock reported is that that anti-Kennedy Lucasfilm mutineers want to use the veil from Rebels to make future Star Wars projects in different universe from the sequel trilogy like JJ's Trek did. And again, all respect to Doomcock, but as he made clear, it is a rumor. I choose not to believe the rumor. Just like you can believe the rumor, I can choose not to believe the rumor. And I only say that because of what we've already gotten and how things have already gone. Until I see a massive shift or a massive change in Lucasfilm, which we have not seen yet, I don't buy it. Latino Slant says, no film should be canceled. You're right. Absolutely right. Gannison Elite Troll says, how are you? Gannison, doing fine, man. Rookie Pilot says, you've seen Enemy Mine, warring factions, human versus alien, who crash on an unpopulated planet, learn to rely on each other, and eventually become best friends. Feel-good movie, my favorite. Not seen it yet, Rookie Pilot. I think Laura actually recommended that film to me, and I believe it's on HBO Max. So if you watch tomorrow's morning movie stream, and you're there at the end when we vote on the next film for Monday, you could definitely recommend it, and if it gets the general consensus. Harwick says, you need to preserve Adventures in Babysitting. They might try to cancel that one as homophobic due to a certain word that one character repeatedly uses, even though, again, not saying that the word is good. However, it is something that was definitely of its time period, and a movie should not get canceled because it was made during a specific time in history, right? It's important for us to watch those movies because it makes us realize, wait a minute, that's how people used to talk, right? If you don't learn history, you're doomed to repeat it, as it always says. That's a film that I've been meaning to watch for a while now at this point. Larry says, $2.69. Colombia pesos, $10 is $2.69. Thank you. I'll double check that and confirm it myself. I believe you, Larry, but as you know, I just want to make sure. Maybe I'll round up or something. Who knows? Thank you very much, Tina, for letting me know I saw it. Gannison says, cancel culture is so dumb. Physical copies are important. Damn right they are. Physical copies are important, but also preserving those copies. And that's the thing, right? We could buy all the physical copies in the world, but having a backup for it is also important. Having the capacity to recreate it as well is also important, right? If someone tries to destroy something completely, it's up to the fans to not only preserve it by having their own copies of it, but being able to preserve it as well, right? So I have this copy of Die Hard with a Vengeance, right? Let's say the studio says we're not making any more copies, we're rounding them all up, we're deleting them, we're getting rid of them. We're not going to let anyone else have them. And then I'm here like, well, I have a copy, and I know how to make a copy, so therefore the movie doesn't die. The movie can live on through the fans. Movie can live on through the fans. And that, again, that's what this is all about. Again, that is what this is all about. On a very small scale, obviously, because I'm one person. But again, sometimes something can start off small and grow into something larger. And this is about trying to get the infrastructure in place so that we have the potential to become much larger. All right, Hardwick says, Steven Spielberg announced that his remake of West Side Story will remove the part where Maria disses Puerto Rico in a song due to some Puerto Ricans finding it insensitive. Of course he did. bowing to the mob. Sounds a lot like modern-day Steven Spielberg. Alita Troll says, have you been following The Last of Us Part 2? OMG, the story is garbage. Yeah, oh my gosh. The Abby storyline, too, is terrible. I've been watching PewDiePie's game through, so I'm still a little behind. I don't know. I have not seen every part of the gameplay yet, but watching PewDiePie play it has been amazing because he's been crapping all over the story. And I agree with his assessment. He's like, the gameplay is great. And I agree. Like, the gameplay looks really fun. The world, obviously, is very well rendered, very well put together. But, you know, the characters and the story just aren't that good. Larry says, Leni Riefenstahl was Hitler's filmmaker. The films are propaganda, but even those should be preserved. Larry, I agree. I think it's important for us to see what the propagandists were doing. Again, because if we see it and we see the methods that they use, guess what happens? We can recognize it in the future when someone else tries to do the same thing. Because guess what? Propaganda still exists. Greta says, the point of the song America was that the women prefer living in America than Puerto Rico. Yeah. So basically they're saying, oh, you can't have an opinion. That's basically what they're doing by getting rid of that song, Greta. Oh my goodness. Isn't it crazy? It's so crazy. Ollie M, thank you very much for the $10 donation via Streamlabs. Thank you so very much for being very generous with that. He says, after hearing about all the re-edits, Splash, Star Wars, Die Hard, went out and bought all of the Tarantino collection just in case the mob comes after them. Boom, man. That's how you do it. That is absolutely how you do it, right? You buy the movies yourself. That gives you the films. That gives you access to them. And then, again, you can do this on your own too, right? If you have the means to, if you have the server space to, back them up, preserve them. In case it gets scratched, in case no copies are available anymore, and let's say you have people that want to watch it and they can't all be right next to you, you can make them a copy. And again, I'm not promoting piracy here. I'm not saying if someone has the ability to buy a movie that you should just give it to them for free. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if a studio says, oh, no, nay, we're not going to let you have this anymore. We're not going to sell it to you anymore because it's offensive. So therefore, we are going to refuse you the ability to buy this film. Those are the moments that I'm speaking to. Those are the movements that I think fans like us having it and being able to replicate it is so very important. And also that reminds me. So here is something that I made very, very special for the channel, because as you all know, I'm a huge fan of the work of a comedian named John Panette. May he rest in peace. And so anytime you hear me say the expression, nay, I wanted to show you what exactly I was referencing. And so to film censorship, to everything going on in the world right now, this is what I have to say. And John Panette, take it away.
I said, oh, nay. I say nay, it's easier for me. Nay. Nay. Get out of the line.
I love it. So I just wanted to put that together for you guys. So that now you have a frame of reference of when I say nay. That's what I'm referring to is the late, great John Panette. And I had to add in the very end, though, when he does his little creepy demon voice, get out of the line, because I love it so very much. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that cut that I made. I had fun putting that together. Oh, Lordy. But Ollie M, thank you very much for being the last person to donate. And we are now at 28.15%. Still got 29 days to go, so a very great start tonight. Thank you so much to everyone that has donated. Again, we were at $281.50. So thank you all so very much for your tremendous generosity trying to help this project that I'm working on to try and help to preserve cinema and to preserve media. You're awesome, guys. Thank you. Let's see. Sasha Neon says, Gettysburg, the sequel to Gods and Generals, can go on the list too. Tell me more about that one and why that one should be on the list. Harvick says, there's nothing offensive about the song. It's realistic for Maria to not like Puerto Rico, but now anyone implying that any place is inferior to America is verboten. Exactly, right? At that time in history, people were leaving the country because it was better to be in America. There were more opportunities in America. And so to say something that was simply a fact, and not even just a fact, right? Even if we take that out of it, that objectively it was better to be in one country over another, let's take that out of it. What you're saying is that someone can't have an opinion. That if someone prefers one place to another, that we can't say that anymore is ridiculous. It's so freaking ridiculous, man. Because even if it's not a fact, which I think most of us could look back at that time in history and say, factually speaking, it was better in America than it was in Puerto Rico at that time in history. At the very least, it's an opinion. I mean, it's like, come on now. Come on now. What are you doing? All right. The chat has jumped on me. Once again, let me jump over to my D-Live fam. Let's see how things are going now that we have so many captains going on over there right now. It's insane. Captain Will Gentry says, they were not video games. You were playing Pokemon card games. You can't call that a video game. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you call me out? Yes, I was playing Pokemon trading card game, but guess what? That's a game. That is a game, and there's a video component. Therefore, I would say that makes it a video game. I would say that makes it a video game. Phonemo says, fair, blasphemous, only right think. Exactly. That's what it's all about. Phonemo says, Monster Squad will probably get canceled. No way they would allow that movie to be made today. What's Monster Squad, huh? There's a lot of gifts going on over on D-Live. Fat Elvis says, everything in my theater have been ripped and discs stored, so no matter what, I still have the original stories. Fat Elvis, boom, exactly right. So as I mentioned, I already have my own personal server where all of my own personal Blu-rays are saved with just the films on them themselves, right? And so that's awesome, right? And I recommend that anyone that has the capacity to do so, that you do just that. But obviously now I'm vastly out of space, and now the project that I'm currently working on will require a lot more space, and that's where the new server that we're saving up for is going to come into play. And so that is going to be something that will make this whole process awesome, right? Getting all of that stuff, again, digitized, preserved, obviously also still holding on to the physical format too. All about that preservation, man. Absolutely, Fat Elvis. So glad to hear that you also preserve yours. Cap Adam says, great cut, brother. Thank you. Glad that you appreciated it. Cap Adam says, it is a captain party up in here. Definitely looks like it. Captain Will Gentry says, that makes it a video game. That might just be the flimsiest argument you have ever made. I love it. Well, it's a game and it's a video. Ergo, it's a video game. That seems pretty logical to me. Oh, Lord. All right, let me jump back over to YouTube. Tina says, I don't know if he is or not. Are you wanting any actual DVD donations as well? If you want to send it, if you have something that you think could be preserved or maybe you don't have the capacity to, absolutely. Again, I do have a P.O. box you can send stuff to. However, I don't know if I'll be able to digitize it as of yet because, as I said, I'm still waiting on storage. So once the server's up and running, then at that point, again, anyone who wants to donate just simply by the media itself, that could absolutely be a way of doing it. But yeah, that's up to you. If you want to, I'll hold on to it and then of course digitize it as soon as I have the room to be able to do so. Because I do have some room left on my main computer, but I'm very, very quickly running out. So I had to start deleting stuff off of it just to have room for my basic stuff. Golden Ration says, I wonder whether any of the gangster movies or TV series will last like The Godfather. That's a fair point. It's a good question. Sasha Neon says, hear the meme about Land O'Lakes removing the mascot. They ditch the Indian, keep the land. How typical. You can never win with cancel culture. This is so true. You really cannot win. Gannis Eliatrol says, thank God I didn't waste my money on that game in cinemas or opening back in my country. Well, good job, dude. I can't wait for the theaters to open up back near me. However, I want them to not force me to wear a mask as long as I'm sitting down. If I'm walking around, okay, I'll play your game. I'll even just hold it up to my face and just be like, all right, it's on my face. But as soon as I sit down, it needs to come off so that way I can eat my popcorn, sip my beverage, and enjoy a movie. That's all I want. That's all I want. Super says, Poods reached the point in his playthrough where you get to play as Abby. I won't spoil it, but get excited. His reaction is priceless. The game broke him. Dude, no, I've gotten to that part, Super. So I'm caught up with his current gameplay, and it is hilarious. It is freaking hilarious. The fact that he actually even joked about going to the delete game option was fantastic. Larry says, Patrick Wayne's still around. Patrick Wayne. All right, I'm going to start skipping some comments because I do need to start wrapping things up, and my tush is starting to hurt. I shouldn't have done that stream earlier. Larry says, nay, nay. Nah, I say nay, nay. The buffet line. That's another great special too, Larry. Sunday Dan says, I am eager for poor old Poods to reach the end if he can. They are underestimating the backlash. Yeah, seriously, because if PewDiePie hates the game as much as I think he's going to hate it, yeah, oh crap, it's going to be huge. I mean, the following that he has, he can have a tremendous influence on the game. Forever Sci-Fi says, Escanaba into Moonlight is on Prime now. It was originally only released in Michigan, as it's about the Upper Peninsula, and it was based on a play from Jeff Daniels Theater. I recommend it. Interesting. Never heard of it. Gennison Alita Troll says, how do I donate? So there is a link in the description of the video called Streamlabs. If you click on that link, you should see a bunch of instructions on how to donate, and you can donate through that. Let us see here. All righty. We do need to start wrapping things up. So if there's some comments that are not really relevant to our discussion, I'm going to skip those because there are some comments that are not relevant. Dina Proof says, you should add Battlestar 2004 on the list. I got to hear your thoughts on it. Again, if that's just a movie to watch, I already have too many of those right now. Larry says, Pokemon cards are kids crack. You're right about that. Alex Martinez. All right. Yeah. I don't know anything about Angry Joe. So I don't know. I don't have any thoughts on it. Rookie Pilot. Once original cuts are no longer available and replaced by woke remakes, collectors will reap good money selling their originals. Seems like a sound retirement investment. Yeah, it absolutely is. And here's the thing, though, is that then you'll have people like me who have preserved them, not because I want to profit off of it later, but because I want to be able to at least offer it to say, hey, I have these copies available. And if the studio is unwilling to sell it, it's kind of the mindset, right, of Star Wars to Specialized. The way that people can get around that really legally is that, let's say you already own or you want to own a specific version of the film, but the studio that owns the rights aren't going to let you, then that is kind of where you find that legal territory. Now, you have a much better legal case if you own. So, for example, I own the entire Star Wars collection, the prequels, and the obviously the original trilogy, in their messed up forms with all the CG added stuff. But then I also have the specialized editions. And so that's kind of the way that you get around it, is because I do own the original release, and I also have other releases, other editions that are actually, again, better because they're the original cuts of the film. And so that's kind of the mindset I have for, again, preparing for the future and hoping that we don't fall into anything else. And yeah, our original cuts, we, again, need to preserve it. Larry says, store in a cool, dark place. You mean the discs, or if I were to ever get my hands on, like, legit film? Rhaegar Targaryen says, remember the cringe that came out the year of The Kitchen from Vertigo DC comic? Melissa McCarthy, Tiffany Haddish, Elizabeth Moss as Mama. Oh my gosh, yes. Don't remind me of that. It looked terrible. It looked so bad. It looks so bad. Alex Martinez, it's terrible. Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben's rice are getting canceled. I agree. It's silly. Tina, Patrick Wayne was the son of John Wayne. He also developed cancer as he was a kid who would visit the Conquerors. Oh, no. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Blake St. Clair says, do you have a way to receive already digitized films? And what format do you digitize to? Wait, do you have a way to receive already digitized films? I mean, once it's digitized, those are large files, for one. So technically, you could for sure. You could put it onto something like a Google Drive, but Google Drive I don't think is going to be able to hold that kind of information. So there is a way to do that. I don't plan on sharing any of these digitized files, though. As I said, I'm not becoming Pirate Bay Part 2. This is a specifically a preservation project, so that way we have the original films. And then again, if we ever get to the point where a studio refuses to let us have access to them, then I'd be willing to not do digital copies, but have actual physical discs that I could give out. But again, we're not there yet. Right now, it's about let's collect, preserve, store. But anyway, I format it to use. I use a program called Make MKV. I plan on making a video on the channel to explain how I digitize my films. That way, anyone who wants to do it to their own collection can do so. But it's not, again, to promote downright piracy. That's not my goal here. Gannison says, it seems we're going backwards in terms of movies. It definitely does. Orange Eye Review says, Michael Keaton rumor was interesting. I hope it's true. It would be good to see him back as Bruce Wayne. I agree, for sure. Super says, I was thinking about it. 100K people were in Pooch chat at the time of the golf club incident, and his vid gets 5 million views. If even 50,000 are convinced not to buy it, that's 2.5 million. Now, apparently they're claiming it's outpacing the original. That makes sense because obviously the original was very popular. Many people stay away from online sources and probably didn't hear anything about the controversy. What I'm interested in is to see, after everyone's done playing it, whether they like it enough to buy another game from Naughty Dog, or if there's going to try and attempt to make a third one, or whatever they're going to try and do. Dean approved. Battlestar is a 4-season show. If you're big on sci-fi, you'll like it. It's been recommended to me multiple times. Larry says, I worked at a record store way back. I'm not saying I did this, but people would come in looking for an out-of-print recording. They would buy a blank cassette, and I would record their selection. And again, allegedly, you did that, of course, Larry. Allegedly. And as I've mentioned previously, allegedly there are copies, practice copies that I've made that I probably might slip in to certain giveaway packages. Allegedly, of course. I cannot confirm nor deny, but I see what you're trying to say there. Forever Sci-Fi says, how long before they ban They Live? Can't have people questioning things. I see what you did there. Larry says, make the video format as universal as possible. Well, here's the thing, is that the format that I'm using, right, is, again, this is about preservation. So it's going to be an ISO file. It's going to be a disk image file. And the goal of that is it's going to be a file that at some point, if need be, could be immediately put onto a Blu-ray disc and therefore basically be a one-to-one copy. So that's the file it's being put into. Again, that's the end goal, the end result of it. It's not to make a bunch of digital copies and then eventually put them online, right? Gannison says, gotta go, take care. I'm trying to end the stream. Trying to end the stream. Harwick says, I wouldn't be surprised to come after King of Queens. Frequently made fun of the left. One episode was hilarious, very un-PC send-up of workplace sexual harassment. I was never into King of Queens because I just don't think Kevin James is that funny. All right, I will try my best to get through. Okay, hopefully that's the end of YouTube comments, because I do need to wrap up because I'm starting to hurt. It's amazing how when I say I'm trying to wrap up, people still like, I'm going to ask 1,000 more questions. Adam says, Squirtle Squad. Yeah, Squirtle Squad. Cam Will Gentry, I presume he meant the server. They need to be kept in temperature-controlled conditions. Yeah, well, the server that I'm looking into, it's one of those, it's the Synology NAS, which has the fans in there and is, it doesn't need as much cooling. Obviously, I'm not going to keep it in a hot room, but yeah, not one of the server rack ones, at least not at this point. Let's see. Cam Adams says, Red Vines or Twizzlers, they're the same thing, and I don't like either of them. Phonemo says, you allegedly misplaced things. Allegedly? Oh, wait, a copy of Gone with the Wind somehow got into your package and you didn't own the film before? Oh, I had no idea. No, Stephanie B., no more questions. Alrighty. That is going to be it for me tonight. NG1TEV, thank you again for that last $4 super chat with the, what was that, a cup of coffee? Swig of drink for the working man. Wow. All right. Well, let me just put it this way. You guys are awesome. Seriously. The fact that we are already 28.15% of the way to the end goal is fantastic. So again, we've already raised $281.50, not adding a couple of the other donations. There was a couple through PayPal I need to add up, and then of course the one that was sent earlier by Edgardo. So seriously, thank you all so very much for being so amazing. I'm gonna try and play around with it with the goal number to try and see if I can add it. I'm hoping I don't destroy it in the process. But don't worry, I'll keep track of the number nonetheless. And of course, you can see it right here up on the screen. But seriously, from the bottom of my heart, this really does mean a lot. So thank you so very much for, pushing us very close towards that goal. Again, we still have 29 days where, again, any donation that comes through PayPal, if it's, again, specifically for this project, or if it comes directly through Streamlabs, will go directly towards this. So thank you so very much. We're actually almost about halfway to being able to actually buy the server itself before the hard drives. So that's actually a really good goal to look at. And that's awesome. So thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for showing y'all support for physical media. Thank y'all for showing y'all support for, obviously the preservation of media, the preservation of film, of television, especially in the wake of this, woke culture. And yeah, it's all about preservation here. So thank you for being here. Next stream tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are watching Kelly's Heroes. So that should be a lot of fun. Thank you so very much for being here tonight. See you tomorrow morning if you want to be up early to watch that movie. And if not, then I will see you on the Thursday morning stream. Remember, the Twitch stream on Thursday morning will start later because of a doctor's appointment. And then after that, we have Friday Night Tights. Then we have the Saturday night stream. And then on Sunday around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, a little bit later than the normal Chosen of Valhalla stream, we will have a Chosen of Valhalla stream. And it should be a lot of fun. So I've got a lot of streaming ahead of me this week. And y'all guys just made, again, this start of the process and start of the project that much better. So thank you very much for being amazing. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Have a wonderful night. And as always, God bless. And now a huge shout out to all of my June Patreon members: Albertus Magnus, Animation Commentator, Brian P., David Bobrizik, Dion, Divex, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Kenneth Cameo, Lady T, Laura Story, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Out of Step with Reality, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Benton, Tina Bojan, The DJD Show, and Tina B. And also to my Subscribe-Star members, Edgardo Martinez, John B., Perpetual Punster, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Dark Star 57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J. Rod, the Beer Guru, and also Nebanon G. Adams and ZK Man, and Jonathan Carney, and Jacob Juice. Thank you all so much for being a member of Patreon and Subscribe-Star. And seriously, it really does mean a lot. Helps keeps the light on, helps me able to do things like the giveaways for my $5 and up backers on Patreon and Subscribe-Star, and also be able to put more stuff into the actual channel itself, including upgrading different components, whether it be webcams, microphones, things like that. All of that helps to support it, and it really does mean a lot. So thank you all so very much. Please, if you want to have your name shouted out or look at any of the other perks, which include things like indeed having access to exclusive 4K digital giveaways every single month, and also an exclusive podcast hosted on Patreon and Subscribe-Star, and also YouTube memberships as well at the $10 and up level, featuring John the Flickpig Flickinger. Please check all of those things out in the description of this video. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.